Carmentary, Neil here. I'm on my way home. I got a great comment the other day, and I really wanted to read this because it was hilarious. And then we can talk about it on the way home. So this is from Mark, and he had reached out to me last year because he had plans to visit Hakoda Sanso. Now Hakoda Sanso is it's like a hotel that's right at the base of Hakoda Mountain, which is in Aomori. Amazing location, great backcountry access, etc. They don't have many hotels there, and they have their guide club. I've been there many times, I know these guys, and they have a guide club built into the hotel. So you stay there and then you tour the backcountry with them. So he says, well, I asked them if they had vegan options, and the response was hilarious. So he's copy-pasted their response. The email from Hakoda. Now listen to this. Thank you for your inquiry. Unfortunately, we do not provide any meals for vegans. In addition, many vegans have extremely nutritionally unbalanced diets, which naturally puts strain on their bodies. And there are many cases where they suddenly become unwell. If something like that happens to you while skiing or other exercise in such conditions, we cannot take care of it. So we currently do not accept reservations for vegans. This is not discrimination against vegans, but rather because we are unable to respond. So please do not feel bad. Anyway, he says, Mark says, it was a rude awakening to the fact that veganism is not big in Japan at all. I noticed there's actually 4 replies on this right now. Let's see what people have said. Someone said, have you considered there's actually a lot of truth in what they said? Just saying. I responded, and then, yeah. Basically, there's a couple of replies back and forth there, but I just thought that was such a classic statement. So Japanese in a way. Like, you know, all you had to do was say, sorry, we don't have any vegan menus, end of story. But to add on the little jab there, or the big jab, you know, it was like kind of a roundhouse actually. Like, hey, we've had vegans come and they get tired or they get sick and we can't take care of them, so we don't want to deal with them anymore. Well, I don't really know what's going on here. I would say that, like I said, Hakoda Sanso is a unique operation. They have a hotel, and basically all winter long, their entire client base, I would say, you know, 90 to 95% of the people who stay with them then take part in their tours, and they go split boarding or skiing or whatever it is up into the mountains. They do these long hikes, they ride, they do more hiking, then you ride down, and they have a bus that picks people up and brings you back to the hotel. So that is their whole operation. You know, they're taking people out into the backcountry. So it's not just a hotel that provides room and board, and, you know, they're actually physically out there in the backcountry with the customers who stay with them. So it is a unique situation, and maybe they had like one bad experience, you know, and it's probably like there was somebody who was like vegan or vegetarian or something and was out there in the backcountry and just didn't feel well, and it was something that affected the staff enough that they're like, oh man, we just don't want to deal with these people anymore. It's like, everybody's got to eat meat, man. They need more protein in their life so they can hike the mountain with us. I think it's just that kind of it's probably a one-off weird situation that happened that left a really bad impression with them, and that's why they're saying what they said. I don't think there's any real menace in their comment, but the way it is written, and I would imagine they used some kind of a translation software, Google Translate or something, to take a little written Japanese text and turn it into English. So it adds a little extra sense. That whole, we're not discriminating against you as a vegan, we're just saying we don't think the diet is going to give you the support you need to come hiking here in the mountains. It's hilarious. on a wider, more cultural note, yeah, Japan is not a land of varied diet choices. Slowly, very slowly. At big hotels now, where they have a buffet, you have they like to call it the Viking. The Viking. Because it's like the Vikings would eat. The buffet. Each platter will now have, not in every place, but some of the, the larger chains or the places, the bigger places will have a little card that says, what it is. And then it will have little icons or a little text that lists the ingredients. So you can know if there's wheat in it. And this is all more about allergies. So I think North Americans, Europeans are hyper aware of allergies. You always, when you get on an airplane, they're always like, we have one person who's got a nut allergy, so we're not going to be serving any nuts on the plane today. You're like, oh man, who's got the nut allergy? So I think we're really aware of that. And in the last, 10, 15, 20 years, like gluten-free, obviously stuff like that is super common. You see it on every label. Fat-free, gluten-free, GMO-free, whatever. Here in Japan, it's never been an issue. Never been an issue, never been a problem, never been a thing until quite recently. And you start to see it on labels now. And the gluten-free thing has really kind of taken off in the last couple of years. And you start to see that. So at the buffet, you will see the little card, you'll see what the menu is, and then it'll have listed what is in it. You can tell, oh, does this have wheat in it? Does this have nuts in it? That kind of stuff. As far as vegan choices, basically, if you're at a big hotel, they will generally have the buffet, and the buffet will have a variety of choices. And in Japan, it's always been like, I don't even think anybody even thinks about like, oh, we need to have a gluten-free menu. I don't know if that thought even crosses anyone's mind. It's simply a thought of, we should have Chinese food, Japanese food, and European food. Wa, chu, yo. There's another phrase for it. I forget what it's called. Basically, those are like the three main varieties of food in the world. You have Chinese-based stuff, you have Japanese stuff, because we're in Japan, and then you have the yo, which is all the foreign stuff. It's basically like a pizza or hamburger or whatever. So I think the feeling here is that if you have a variety of people coming to visit your place, your restaurant, your hotel, if you provide those three in a nice little selection, you're gonna have everybody covered. And I think that has always been sort of the thought, like, let's just provide a variety of cultural experiences in the food menu, and everybody's gonna be happy, right? Well, not anymore. Because now there are so many different allergies, so many different diets, so many different choices. And I understand North America especially, and I don't know how extensive it is in Europe, but providing all these different choices for everybody is like the thing to do now. And I guess it's really common. People, even at our cafe, people often ask us, do you have like a milk substitute, right? I think that's another big one. Do you have soy milk? Do you have almond milk? Do you have oat milk? There's all these different choices, and to be honest with you, we don't provide any of them. We have milk from cows, man. Not that I'm hating on other substitutes. The real problem here is that the general population, which is Japanese, that's our main clientele, they never ask for that stuff. there's like a tiny, minuscule percentage of people who will ask for a soy milk at Starbucks because Starbucks has the soy option. I don't know if they have the oat milk option or the almond milk option. I'm not sure about that, but I know they have the soy. Tonyu, it's called tonyu in Japanese. So you go into Starbucks and you can say, hey, make my cafe misto with soy milk, which I did not. This is normal milk. But Starbucks, they'll do that. Starbucks is a big chain. It's a global company. I don't know, how much soy milk they actually go through. The problem for us small businesses is that you're gonna lose money on soy milk because not enough people are gonna use it. Everybody here just drinks the milk. If they don't like milk, they'll just not order that menu. And they're not gonna like come to you and complain about it and be like, you need to supply the soy milk. No one says anything. They're just like, oh, the lattes only, they don't have soy milk, and I kind of wanted a latte, but oh well, I guess I won't get one now. So that is kind of the vibe here in Japan. I didn't really answer any questions or provide much new information with that, but I thought that comment was classic. And there are so many of those great little cultural idiosyncrasies. Personally, I just laugh that stuff off. I don't get angry. I don't think there's a need to get angry. The comment from Mark didn't sound like he was very angry. It's pretty funny. Anyway, I just thought I would share that. If you have any funny stories, I'm sure everybody who's been to Japan has at least one, funny story about something that someone said to you, or a sign. The signs, obviously anything that's been translated into English can be really humorous, and still to this day, if I see some funny English, I will snap a photo of it because I just love that stuff. I think it's kind of cute. Eventually that stuff will all go away as more people use Google Translate, and Google Translate does a pretty darn good job of translating texts. By the way, final note, if you need an app or something to really translate something, better than Google Translate. Google Translate, you get the point, you understand what they're trying to say in pretty much all cases, but Deep L, I think it's Deep-L, Deep Language, I think is what it stands for. That, I believe, is a Japanese company, and their system, everybody raves about it. I've used it for documents where I need to have a really good translation, not just a straight across, keeping the nuances of the language. It seems to do really well. And now ChatGPT also does really nuanced translations for all kinds of different languages, I guess, but I use it for Japanese and English. I use it especially when I want to take an English text I've created and turn that into Japanese to send to someone, and hopefully keep the feeling and nuance of the text I've written. So that's a little extra advice for you if you need to do any kind of a quality translation. Okay, that's it for today's commentary. I'll let you go. Remember to drive safe.